And we're live. Come on in. Let's have a discussion. Free speech is back, apparently. Let's have a discussion. Come on in. Let me know where you're from. What country, city, if you want to share that. We usually have a very international audience. We'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll get started. Come on in. Let me know if you can hear me okay. It looks like my volume is good, according to the computer. And videos coming through. Come on in. We got Logazer from Germany. Digital, welcome, my friend. Come on back. Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken, dude. Hoboken's awesome. We used to go to Hoboken all the time, and we used to take the path? The train over to the city. We got Captain from Vancouver. Barry, love your discussions and insight. Thank you very much, Barry. I really appreciate that, man. It's we couldn't have that without the crowd that we have, right? So that's why I love these live streams so much. John, Tesla is dead. I don't know about that, man. Oh, he retracted it. Smart. Yeah, the Pathfinder. That's right, Barry. Thank you. Stuttgart, Germany. Logazer. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce things well. Come on in, everybody. We'll give it a couple more minutes. We got Rodrigo. How you doing, my friend? BR, I'm guessing is Brazil, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, for this live stream, what I would love to do is sit down and talk about the recent stuff that's been going on with Elon and Twitter. As you all know, he purchased Twitter officially as of Monday, and there's a lot of back and forth between folks that are fans of sort of Tesla and what he's doing there and investors. And it's been, there's a camp that really likes it and there's a camp that really doesn't like it. So what I would love to do in this today's live stream is to just have an open discussion with everybody, just to get everybody's thoughts and share my thoughts as well to see how, what you guys think of that, and then we'll have an open discussion from there. So as people come in, we'll get that started. John, Twitter was really not what we needed. I would love to discuss that. So yeah, we'll get started here in about 60 seconds. Springfield, Missouri, city of Mercedes, and many Porsches too, from Stuttgart. Yes, that's right. We got folks from Southall, UK, Great Britain, Artful Dodger. I see you around, man. Thank you for joining back. Tampa, Florida. TJ, hi. TJ, I'm doing great, man. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well as well. Oh yeah, Brazil. That's right. Awesome. Elon's Twitter deal isn't through though. Well, yeah, it's still sort of subject to everybody signing off, but all things considered, it's very unlikely for it to fall through. So he's sort of made an offer to Twitter, board has accepted it, and now they have to go through the due diligence to finalize it. So it's kind of like, it's a deal in principle, and then once the lawyers get involved and everybody goes through, they'll sign off. But I would be extremely surprised if it doesn't go through. I think this is a done deal. Yeah, people who get Elon are people that don't basically. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more complicated than that. I mean, I can understand the other side of it. Dan, love your Tesla insights, Farza. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. I was lucky to be there. That's one of my, I guess, luck that I've had being exposed to that company. And if you trust them or not, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I would love to have the discussion. Let's start it. I can't even pronounce it. I'm gonna try. Oh boy, Grub vom Bodensi. Sorry. All right. I read somewhere it would be finalized by October. Yeah. So it's probably going to take about 4 to 6 months. Call it. It'd probably go faster, to be honest. I think Elon's going to push quite a bit to get this thing done faster than usual. Sort of this due diligence state of going through and reviewing everything and ensuring that the acquisition's closed properly. I bet you Elon's going to push it as hard as possible. So maybe it might be quicker than that. Who knows? I think Elon's doing what the country needs, not shareholders, Tesla, Twitter, or any of Wall Street. You could have billions of dollars. What's the point without free speech? Right. So I think that's really the core of sort of the agreement and disagreement of what's going on with this whole thing. So you have people that, and I'll put myself in this camp, and again, let's have a discussion about this. So you have people that are in one camp that say free speech is too important. It doesn't matter what the negatives are from Elon buying Twitter. It has to be done. And Elon is somebody that needs to get the stuff. He needs to figure this out. And he's one of the very few that could, and sort of set a foundation up for free speech and truth to always be trusted, right? That's one camp. And we'll elaborate on that as the live stream goes on. The other camp is, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, because this is not where I stand. So let me know, whoever is on the other camp, let me know how you can correct my statement. Is this is going to bring way too many distractions to Elon. It's going to defocus him from the ultimate mission of making life multiplanetary and driving sustainable transport and energy and all that stuff. You're not going to be able to make anybody happy if you really try to fix something like a Twitter or really enabling free speech. That in itself is a humongous job on its own. He already has a ton on his plate. Why the hell would he take this on as well? So let me know if those are the two camps, and then we'll have a discussion from there, and I'll continue to read comments and we'll have a conversation. So Barry, I agree. I can respect Elon's interest in true freedom of speech and his interest in Twitter, but bad advice regarding financial advisors, such a terrible distraction for his for-profit companies. Right. So Barry, sounds about right. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think buying Twitter is a great idea. This is big. We got Dan from Pennsylvania. Pete, hello, welcome back. Pennsylvania, I used to live in Bethlehem, in case you didn't know. Rodrigo, a lot of things to discuss. I keep myself wondering, does this Twitter buy anything to do with Neuralink, some kind of digital broadband consciousness? I think if that's the case, that's going to be very, very far in the future. Probably, I don't know. It's going to be farther. I do have some theories about earlier stuff, though. I think we're going to see stuff with Twitter that might be a little mind-blowing. That might happen earlier, and I'll get into that here in a second. I think those comments about Elon being distracted is really a misunderstanding of Elon's capabilities. I think they're trying to really limit their perspectives of his capabilities. I also think your perspective about Neo needing Twitter for the future, I'm guessing Elon needing Twitter for the future is very valuable. I also think your perspective about Elon needing Twitter for the future is very valuable. Yeah. So the way I view the Elon transaction of Twitter, this is my opinion. You guys let me know what you think. So I think as Elon's companies continue to grow, as they continue to disrupt, you still have to think about where are they within the context of becoming a market leader, okay? Tesla is still a fraction of the largest automakers. Toyota sells 10 million cars a year. Volkswagen sells, I think, 11 million. Tesla's 1 million. They're probably going to do 1.5 this year, 2.5 the next year, so on and so forth. So within that respect, it's still a baby when it comes to market dominance. Maybe not from a profit perspective, but from a penetration perspective, okay? The SpaceX business is sort of different. SpaceX is already becoming a very large player in that space, and it's going to continue to disrupt to the point where companies like ULA and Boeing kind of become like, why would they even exist? If Starship actually works and the cost benefits of that technology actually work, something like that's going to render some of these companies completely obsolete, to the point where Boeing is not even going to be able to get a contract, right? If he can make a Starship every week and get those things out and be fully reusable, it's going to cut the cost of space by a fraction, right? But the Tesla example, I think, probably makes a lot more sense. So when they get to 20 million cars a year by 2030 or 2035, whenever that happens, when the bot starts ramping up and it starts creating a scenario where it could displace jobs, when you have the batteries going live and solar going live and it starts disrupting the oil industry way more than it is right now, my theory is that the FUD is going to get, so the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, is going to get 10 times worse than the peak of 2017, 2018. So if you remember back in 2017, 2018, you had these massive just efforts to try and break Tesla and Elon, right? When Tesla and his companies are at a point where they're the indisputable market leader and they are heavily disrupting those industries, the amount of money and the amount of power that's going to try to slow him down or render him sort of incapable to do anything, or worse, destroy him, it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to 10x. It's just going to be way more than it was before. And when that happens, unless you have some sort of tool that allows you to bring the truth to the people of what these companies are actually doing, these media companies and power structures that are sort of really influenced by your oil companies and your pharmacy companies, like everybody that has the money, that has had this sort of underlying structure, power structure for the last 50 years, are going to utilize those structures to completely try to destroy Elon and his companies. So in my opinion, Twitter is going to be extremely important for Elon and his companies and his mission to reach the people. Right? Forget the media companies. Forget trying to, take the side of Fox News or whoever media company wants to drive the Elon narrative. It has to reach the people. That's the best. That's the first principles way of getting information out to people, right? And so, in my opinion, and I could be completely wrong here. In my opinion, Twitter is he needs this to complete his missions, because otherwise, the amount of resistance and vitriol and shit, for any other lack of word, that he's going to get from the disruptions of his companies that's going to cause, it's going to be almost impossible to overcome unless he has a way to directly reach the people. So although right now he might be communicating it as and you can, that's kind of free speech if you really think about it. But I think it's more than that. I think it's a platform for Elon to get the truth out there about what he's trying to achieve directly to the people. Okay? So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you guys think about that. That's sort of where my head is going. So yeah, it's more complicated for sure. I'm not sure it needs to happen. I don't know if it really is such an issue that needs fixing, but I agree it should be open source algorithms and transparency. Yeah, a lot of times the best way to fix something is to just bring light to it, right? If people don't really know what's going on, it's hard to fix. You don't really know what's going on. So making stuff open source and sort of available for everybody, I think it's going to be extremely helpful. Looking at Twitter annual report, about 25% spent on marketing and ads, sales, and 25% on research development, but flat users since 2014. Easy for Elon to fix and make useful spending. Yes, I agree with that. The one thing to also keep in mind is that now that Elon owns Twitter, it's going to follow the trend of whatever Elon's leading, that thing's going to become the gold standard, right? Tesla, gold standard for cars, gold standard for electric vehicles, gold standard for batteries, gold standard for solar, gold standard for AI. SpaceX, gold standard for space. Okay. PayPal, when he was heading it, gold standard for internet transfer of money. Okay. So you can make a very good assumption that Twitter will become the best social media platform on planet Earth. What does that mean? I don't know. But whatever they do with the social media platform, it's going to allow them to reach the best, to become the best. Okay. It could be the freest speech with the best algorithms that allow people to not be sort of, poisoned or sort of moved in a way that's counter to what a society or a civilization should have for the total benefit of humankind. I guess you can think about it that way. I don't know, maybe they come out with a video platform that competes with YouTube, and it uses Twitter, and it get rid of all the bots and all those stupid freaking comments that come out on our videos, right? When you go in, I will never reach you on WhatsApp. Like, that's, ignore those freaking comments. But who knows? So I think that's also a very, that's going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see. McKay just tuned in. Great job lately, Farzy. Thank you very much, McKay. I really appreciate that. Looks like some folks agree with me. Yeah, Barry, no, I appreciate that. I would love to hear the opposing view, though, right? So let me know sort of what I might not be thinking about correctly here. Because even though it is a huge effort, in my opinion, is one that has to happen. If he needs to get to that size, it has to happen. It has to happen. Low gazer, but talking to friends or people in general, it seems that people that are losing their mind about it don't trust Elon. For them, it's just another crazy billionaire. I think we see it a little different. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think there's a subset of the population that has been somehow they're convinced that if you have a lot of money or you're a billionaire, you're automatically not a good person, or you are hiding your intentions. You are not real, right? You made a lot of money because you screwed somebody over. You made a lot of money because you're greedy. So they question who you are as a person, your fundamental being, right? And Elon, in a way, I mean, I can see it. I can see it. I've met very wealthy people before in my life. Most of them are really nice. Honestly, most of them are just regular people who are very talented, and the economy has said, whatever you're doing, I'm going to pay you for it, right? And they become really wealthy over time. But some people very much got there because of very shady practices, right? Some people. But I think the way the media has, certain media outlets, is to their benefit to make anybody with a lot of money look as if they are not good people, because it helps a certain narrative to be pushed, okay? Elon's very different, right? Elon, the Tesla community, the SpaceX community sees him, right or wrong, we see him as somebody primarily that we can trust and somebody that has humanity's best interest in mind because of his track record. And the reason why his companies are becoming so damn profitable is because the population really values the way he approaches and the way he approaches the problems he's solving and which problems he's solving. He's almost making like things that are important and are very hard to do. He's making them extremely profitable, right? If that makes any sense. So that's very interesting to see. But I agree. I just think there's a little bit of mistrust there, and it usually will come from people that don't know him, right? I mean, none of us really know him. All of us just see his videos. But I feel like a lot of people that don't like what Elon's doing, I think what ends up happening is that they are thinking or saying things that they heard other people say about him. It's not necessarily comes from a place where they sat down and actually thought about it. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So, Barry, question: do you think he should have done a Twitter poll or a SH poll to see if people wanted him to focus his time and energy on Twitter? No, I don't think so. I think Elon can do whatever he wants. He could have done a poll to see what people's opinions are, but Elon's somebody that if he feels something is very important, he's going to do it. I don't think that would have swayed his thing. And honestly, it shouldn't be up to us to decide what he does with his time. He's a human being. It's like, imagine if somebody came up to you and said, hey, Barry, I think you should do this instead. That's going to rub you the wrong way, right? So in my opinion, I don't think he really needed to do that. Yeah. As a current employee, I love your point of view. Oh, thanks, Jesus or Jesus. Let me know which one you prefer. Are you a Tesla right now? SpaceX? Let me know which company you're at. Appreciate that. Those bots are the worst. I can't believe nobody has figured out a solution yet. Sounds like they will finally change. Yeah, what's going to be interesting here is that as Twitter gets cleaned up, I think YouTube and other platforms are going to see Twitter cleaning that shit up, and they're going to be like, oh boy, we better get our stuff together because it's going to get weird. Elon is a highly efficient problem solver. Yeah, that's one of his main strengths. He can do way more than most. And he can do so very focused, right? With always, and usually comes out with the best possible solution for that specific problem. How much of his $21 billion do you think will come from selling Tesla shares? I think some. I feel like yesterday's price action probably meant that he sold a little bit because we were down 13%, but it didn't make a ton of sense, but who knows? Thank you very much. How do you pronounce that? Catalin. Appreciate the euro, the €2 super chat. Thank you very much. What do you think about Dogecoin and Doge on Mars? I think Dogecoin is going to be probably. It's probably going to be the primary currency, cryptocurrency for Twitter, if I were to guess, only because he's been so obsessed with it, but I don't know. But yeah, it could be a transactional currency on Mars too. Who knows? He loves it, and he loves dogs, so that's cool. Emmett Peppers is on. Emmett, welcome, my friend. Great for having you here, my friend. Do you think Twitter employees will need to work more hours as Elon takes over? For sure. Yeah, I had a video that came out a couple days ago where I gave Twitter employees advice from somebody who worked at an Elon company previously, myself, and I kind of outlined some primary things they have to focus on. I think what's probably happened to Twitter is that they probably got really complacent, because you think about Twitter as a platform, what has changed in the last 3 years, right? What has changed outside of some UI changes and stricter censorship. What are some game-changing features that have come out from the platform, right? So I think there is probably a backlog of things that company needs to do to really take Twitter to the next level. And I think the employees there are going to have to put in effort to make that happen. That doesn't always mean that you have to put in an 80-hour week, but for most people to get used to that new culture and sort of way of solving problems, it takes a lot of work to get used to that mentality. It takes a lot of work and time to really get to a point where you come into work, you're freaking on, your brain is on, and you're on for hours at a time and you don't get distracted. That's really hard to do. I don't know if anybody can do that. It's very hard to do, in my opinion. And so I think those employees are going to have to work much longer hours to make that happen. And I'm also curious to see how that jives with the culture there today. Does Twitter have a much more relaxed culture? I know they have like a thing where I think every other Monday they have off or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, I think it's going to be a big culture change for those folks, and they will definitely be working harder, which usually means longer. But I hope that answered the question, Emmett. Let me know. Thank you, brother. Yeah, great YouTube videos as well. Emmett is a beast. Emmett is awesome. I met him in person a couple weeks ago. Super cool dude. And he's making gains. I can see your gains, bro. I can see you're working hard at the gym. Come on now. Thoughts on Twitter offices potentially coming to Texas? I think it makes sense. He does have 3,100 acres in Texas, in Austin. It's curious too, because I feel like software companies, do you really need to be at an office to do good work? But I think for his, I think it's in his best interest to cut his travel as much as humanly possible. Does he really have to go to California anymore if Tesla's headquarters are here? I think, doesn't he have a couple headquarters there too? I know he has Fremont and a bunch of Tesla buildings, but if Tesla headquarters is here and then he moves SpaceX headquarters to Texas as well, I don't know if he has yet, then that means he can cut out California in a way that he doesn't have to travel anymore. And so I think Twitter is based in Cali, correct me if I'm wrong, or Oregon or one of those. Let me know. But yeah, I think it makes sense. I disagree with Elon quite a lot, actually, but I'm convinced he always tries to do good, and he does admit when he's wrong. He does listen to criticism. He's transparent, and I like that. Yeah, I agree. He just seems very, I don't know, he just seems honest. He seems like an honest guy. And again, he's not perfect. No one's perfect, and Elon's definitely got his quirks, but in my opinion, it's obvious that he has the humanity's best interest in mind. And I say that when, naive of me, but when I watch interviews of him and watching him talk about previous struggles and how passionate about he is about certain things, you can literally see him getting emotional. That means a lot. And he doesn't come across as a guy that can act and can just will that. Like, he has to be very emotionally impacted for that to happen. That builds trust. When people see your vulnerabilities, when people see your emotions and they see your struggles come through, when they see the eyes welling up and like the voice shakes, that is a way to build trust. But if you do it in a fake manner, it's super obvious and gross. But with Elon, in my opinion, I think it's very obvious that it comes from a very deep place. And I think that helps sort of that trust relationship that he's built with the community, in my opinion. Hello from Portland, Oregon. What's up? How's it going? How long will it take for Elon to make a Twitter private? Probably 4 to 6 months, if I were to guess. Would you be mad if Elon took your wife? Of course, bro. She's my wife. She would never go. Get out of here. Come on, Marcel. San Francisco, he asked if he should convert headquarters to a shelter since most employees don't even come in anyway. Yeah, I think some people were thinking that was a sort of like a joke comment. I don't think so. First principles. Do you need to have an office to make Twitter better? Do you have to have an office to make Twitter better? Think about it. Does everybody need to be in the same space physically to get what needs to be done at Twitter actually done? If the answer is yes, then they should have an office. If the answer is no, right? Not really sure. The reason why people feel like billionaires are bad is because of what Bill Gates did, shorting Tesla. You can see the hypocrisy in the open. Yeah, sure. But I do think that sentiment has been going on for a while. And I don't know if that's a necessarily Bill being a billionaire that looks bad on him. It's a hypocrisy. Like, forget how much money he has. Like, even if he had a $10 million short, even if he had a $10,000 short on Tesla, like, why would you talk about doing good for the climate and like always focusing on the climate, yet you are betting against, yet your interests are aligned with Tesla failing? Weird. Right? Doesn't matter. You could have done a $1 short. I know you can't, but interesting. Why do you think Elon tweeted the Truth Social App Store ranking year, pointing out what's happening if Public Square is not happening on Twitter? Why do you think Elon tweeted the Truth Social App Store ranking? I think it's probably a way for him to. I think it's just a way for him to bring light into how much Twitter has fallen, maybe. Or like, showing a thing that says, hey, like there are other competitors out there. It could be a way for him to sort of light a fire under the Twitter employees' asses, potentially. I don't know. Or showing the public that, hey, the reason, like, listen, this is the reason why I'm buying the company, because Twitter is losing out to a competitor that just came out, right? I don't know. I have to think about that a little bit, but it's probably just a way to fire somebody up. Because Twitter lost that business when they banned Trump. That makes sense. Thoughts on Twitter to push into video and audio more? I would love that. I think YouTube needs a competitor. I love YouTube. I'm on YouTube. I have a passive income from YouTube. I get to talk to all of you on YouTube right now. Hello. But I do think it needs a competitor, only because the spam bots that are happening on YouTube right now are out of freaking control. And unless they have some sort of competitor that has a clean comment section where you can have true, like, actual discussions without these freaking bots coming in and flooding everything, I think is a very unique dynamic. Like right now, what we're having on this live stream right now with this conversation, I would love to do these more. It's kind of like I know how Twitter Spaces kind of does this, and I'm thinking about doing some at some point too, but I think Twitter Spaces is really cool because you can enable this sort of conversational thing where people can go back and forth and talk. What's cool about the live streams, the way I like to do them, is I like to present a topic, and then I talk about it. Y'all go in and post stuff, share your comments, share your thoughts, share your questions, and then we interact with each other, right? I love that. But I also want to do that in the comment sections in my YouTube videos. But if that freaking comment section is a disaster because of bots, why would I use it? It's exhausting. It's freaking exhausting. I used to be way more into comments in YouTube before these bots took. It just turns me off. I don't even know what's real anymore half the time. It's like so annoying. But I really appreciate you guys commenting on that stuff, and I do read every single comment. I really do. Even though I might not react to every single one, I read every single one. So, which one would argue is probably not the healthiest thing, but but I do. Is this shocking to you how little financial literacy and bad takes there are on Twitter, YouTube comments, etc.? Yeah, I think it's just I think it's a reflection of the fact that a lot of people don't get financial education early on in their life. You really think about it. When is the last time you took a legitimate finance course in high school, middle school, or college? Even unless you go for, college is different because you're specializing for a specific education, but. Yeah, I think it's just a reflection of our education system. Unfortunately, it's not the person's fault. It's whatever we've built up as a frickin' system. There was here we go. Nico, greetings from Netherlands. Your opinion on making the Twitter algorithm open source? I love it. I think it's a very good idea. I think it allows it. One of the biggest things I learned at Tesla is that you have to make stuff visible to fix it. You can't, you have to air your dirty laundry. Do you want to make your things better? Air it out. Let other people see. Open source, I can't even say it. Open sourcing the algorithm enables the population in a way to make the platform into something that we want to use, right? And then Twitter becomes the platform that makes the will of the people happen through the technical standpoint, and then open sourcing the algorithm allows everyone to see exactly what's going on here and then fix it or modify it in a way so that it serves the will of the people, and whatever that means, right? So I think it's great. I think it's a really good idea. I wish more companies did that. I understand that there are certain things about, intellectual property and things that are very key to have as a company to keep some sort of advantage over your competitors. But certain things should be open for the public to see, especially if they're fundamental to how society acts. And I think open sourcing the algorithm is one of those things, in my opinion. Tesla Fix. Hey, what's up, Fars? Our interview will be up today. Thank you, brother. Tesla Fix. Jan. I interviewed him on my channel a few days ago. He's from Germany. He has an awesome German take on Tesla, and his content has been great so far. I know you asked me to give you feedback on one of the videos. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I will, I promise. But make sure you check out his video, his channel, Tesla Fix. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Jan. Allegedly, Vijaya Agade was crying over the deal. She said she led the banning team. What do you think will change, especially when Elon called her indirect action out as incredibly inappropriate? Yeah, I mean, I think those are, I don't know if it's true that she was crying over the deal. If she was, then whatever. Solving problems don't care about your feelings. That's the unfortunate truth, I guess. Yeah. That's one thing. Like, one thing I've learned is, like, man, if you really want to make really important stuff happen, you can't worry about people's feelings. You just got to make it happen. As long as you're doing the right thing, people's feelings are secondary. Sorry. Doesn't mean be rude to people, right? But if you're going to make a decision that's important, make it. And if she was really crying over someone being the new leader of a company, I don't know. Seems weird to me. Carol, $2 Canadian super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Super nice. Libs are teaching kids that capitalism is bad, hence no teaching of importance of investments and financial literacy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a political sect that's driving that. I think the education system, especially in the United States, in my opinion, I could be wrong, in my opinion, has gaps. The public education system. And I don't know if it's a political party that's driving it. I think it's just a lack of focus on what's important. Yeah. Open source that is important and gets used is super beneficial, but incentives must be kept in place to enable progress. Yes, I agree, Robbie. I think what's going to be super cool to watch is how Elon creates the incentive structures for ads to not become the primary incentive for people to post things on Twitter or to not post on things on Twitter. So, like, the paid subscription model, but then you also have to balance that with ensuring that as many people as humanly possible can access your platform. Because otherwise you're going to be creating a structure where if you make a subscription only, say, you're only limiting a free speech platform to those that can afford it. Even if it's $1 a month. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. R for Dodger. Hey, Farzi, you missed my question, bro. Oh my God. Let's look for it. Let's look for it. You were all the way up here, weren't you? Can you repost it for me, Artful, and then I'll answer it. They're probably just emotional when there's big change and regarding their job. It's easy to become emotional. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Even if it's well-intentioned, right? People do get emotional. If Twitter becomes the ultimate trusted newspaper where you follow your preferred citizen, journalists, wouldn't that be a great value proposition that can be monetized in a win-win way? Yes, it's kind of like, that's a great point, John. So, or Jan, sorry if I mispronounced. So, what's that one news site now? There, Glenn Greenwald is on it and some other ones. Oh my God. I get it. If somebody remembers what the name of the site is. Oh man, it's a site. Anyway, you pay for specific journalists. So journalists have a catalog of things that they will release that they're investigating. I think Mike Taibbi is on there too. And then you pay the journalist directly. So you don't really pay a newspaper or a journalist company and then they divvy up the money. Substack. Thank you, David. Thank you very much. That's what it was. Substack. So it could be like maybe Twitter buys Substack in a way. That'd be really cool. I know there's a company that does that already, and they do a really good job. Yeah, thank y'all. You guys got it. Look at you. You guys are listening to me. I love it. People are listening. Thank you all. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, I would super appreciate if you give this a like if you can, just to push this out to more people. We can have a broader discussion as we go on. Hi, Farza. Thanks a lot for all the information. Big fan. Thank you very much, Vishal. You're awesome. We got Jan also from, you got 2 Jans. We got 2 Jans from Germany. Heck yeah. Elon mentioned long ago that the internet is like humanity acquiring collective nervous system. He understands the importance of avoiding opaque manipulation of social media. Absolutely, yeah. That's a very good call there. I would agree with that. $3 a month subscription, 36 a year with 500 million users, 18 billion of revenue, about 3 times current revenue. Right. Yeah. They very well could be. They very well could do that. I wonder what the $3 gets you that the free option wouldn't. Right. That's where they have to be careful. Because they don't want to restrict like the positive stuff that you get out of the platform, like the really powerful stuff that is instrumental for civilization to have good discourse. I hope it's not locked behind that paywall, right? I was also half thinking too, like if they get into video and audio, say, and they come up with a way of like compensating, you know, where people can tip the creator directly and then Twitter takes a cut, kind of like how YouTube does it. But instead of displaying ads, you just, people can just say, it's $1 a month to view my content. I don't freaking know. I'm curious to see if they would do that. Because they need YouTube needs competition, in my opinion. So, all right, let me share an idea with you guys that I had about Twitter. And this is going to sound crazy, and I would love to hear your opinion on this, but here we go. So Twitter has the polling function, right? If you're not familiar with what that is, as a Twitter user, you can create a poll, and the poll is used to gather information, right? Is it going to rain today? Yes, no, see results, right? As everybody likes to see, right? And direct democracy platform, exactly. And Elon has talked about creating a direct, for Mars especially, he wants a system where there is direct democracy. Okay? So what do you guys think about Twitter becoming that platform, right? Where direct democracy happens, where, say the local government of Mars District 1 wants to get a resolution in place or some sort of law that enables people to do X or Y. And then Twitter is used as that universal platform for people to vote on stuff, right? But what you need to make that happen, you need to make sure that the people voting on that stuff are actual legitimate citizens or people that can vote on those issues, right? That have the right to vote on those issues. And so Elon has talked about verification for Twitter, right? We need to figure out how to make every single human verified, okay? So you could do that with a, photo ID, biometric scan, face scan, whatever. There's many different ways of doing it. But I'm curious, and this is where it gets a little crazy. I'm curious if the best way to make this happen is to ensure you have a physical device that always verifies that you are the correct person that the system thinks you are, that's allowed to vote on certain things, right? So you will need some sort of device that's directly linked with Twitter in some way that verifies you're that person. Could that be the Tesla phone, right? I know people have talked about Tesla phone before a little bit, and in my head, the way I have it in my head is, okay, so if Tesla's going to have a monopoly essentially on batteries and raw materials as they strike these deals with miners, and maybe they get into mining, and this master plan part 3 comes out, and he talks about massive scale, and he has a ridiculous supply chain of batteries. One of my theories is that we're going to start seeing Tesla get into more and more stuff that uses batteries, okay? Phone is one of those things, okay? And if that phone is optimized to be extremely private, unhackable, and will always be able to confirm that you are the correct person that the system thinks it is, in this case, Twitter, could those two things paired up be how direct democracy happens, right? Because you need to verify that the user that's voting on a specific thing or giving an input on a specific thing is correct. It's not a bot. It's not a fake person. It has to be that person. You need some sort of verification process. I think that has to be physical in some way. Could that be the Tesla phone? And so if you pair up the Tesla phone and the Twitter platform together, now you have a platform for direct democracy, and maybe governments on Earth adapted. And then when we go to Mars, that's what Elon uses as the foundation for government. Let me know. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? All right. How long before we see Twitter as a money transfer app? It seems so obvious with Doge, low transaction fees, online money transfer, the world's biggest money transfer. Yeah, very, very well could be, right? I think that makes sense. I got you, bro. But yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's kind of like any sort of platform that connects people could become a money transfer place. And if Dogecoin becomes a global currency in some way, why can't people just send Dogecoin between each other? But let me know what you guys think about that. Paper ballots are needed to avoid bot voting. Yeah, unless you have a way to physically confirm that the person doing the voting is the person, right? I got to think there's ways to do that. Charge for each alias, sure. Long-term solution for KYC's Neuralink integration, yeah. Tesla phone or Neuralink, sure, right? One of those two. Brent O, $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, brother. Every Twitter feed should start with buy Tesla. What if there's only one type of ad allowed on Twitter and it's just for Tesla? That would never happen. You've got iPhones with fingerprint and facial recognition tag. Don't need too much investment made by Tesla to get Twitter to work. Yeah, right? That's a good point. There are some phones already out there that do that. Twitter has such huge potential. They took the functionality of Clubhouse, audio-only stage on topics. The feature is already awesome and could be improved, all while you browse through tweets, right? Yeah, the Clubhouse integration was pretty dope. And elections data stream must be completely transparent. That is open source to be trusted and not hacked. I agree with that, Marcus. Absolutely. That's 100% correct. Yeah, because I'm thinking through that right now. That's the best way to ensure that fraud didn't happen, right? If you can somehow open source, you would have to somehow make maybe the individual records anonymous in some way, but maybe use blockchain to confirm that it was done by a real person. So maybe blockchain is used in this thing as well, right? It has to be. It could be really used for direct democracy, especially with blockchain. Yeah, you got it. You just took the words right out of my mouth, and you were early. An elections data stream. Yeah. Live streaming on Twitter would be great. Yes, it would be. I really do think they should get into video. That would be awesome. It really would. It really would. Direct democracy platform, I'm assuming that's what DDP stands for, will be hard to achieve, specifically with privacy issues and trust deficit in private companies, non-elected organizations. Yeah. I think there has to be a way, though, to create that trust as a private company and then use the platform with local authorities to ensure that it's not being done in any sort of like harmful way? Or do we think that it should always be done by the government, right? It's like one of those things. It's super. This goes back to like how Elon solves problems, right? First principles. Like, do you have to have a government entity involved in checking a voting sort of transaction, I guess, between user or government? Or can you somehow create a platform in addition to some sort of trust, 100% trusted, without any organization's input, checking technology like a blockchain that would ensure that things are 100% accurate all the time? And is that where the blockchain Twitter marriage comes in, and you don't really need a government at that point too? Maybe they're just there to vet all this stuff. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, y'all. I'm not trying to like say private companies drive voting. I'm not saying that, but you need certain technology to make voting. You need technology to make a direct democracy happen. If you want the people to always vote on issues, you got to make it extremely easy for people to do it. That's how you incentivize direct democracy. You got to make it very easy. So, but then everyone needs a device. Who pays for it? You want to leave voting to the most privileged. That's a great point. That's a great point. Voting in elections should not really rely on that, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's a very valid point. How do we ensure, does that then become, maybe the product becomes subsidized by the local governments, and that's part of the taxes you pay? When you're born, you get this device that allows you to vote? I don't know. Your zip code encoded into profile. Mars to Earth latency is 20 minutes or more. Will Mars need its own internet? Yeah, absolutely, Bill. I think that's where Starlink comes in. Starlink is going to be the information transfer system for Mars, and then you could send data between Mars and Starlink, but that's probably going to be batched and sent every, like you said, 20 minutes. But within Mars, you'll have Starlink. Electronic voting is so much more vulnerable to being abused. In its present day, Low Gazer, I think that the thing to keep in mind here is that just because we can't do it right now doesn't mean that the technology doesn't exist to make it happen, right? And that's what I think Elon is extremely good at, is that he's a great problem solver. Really, Elon and his teams, I shouldn't just say him. Him and his teams are extremely good at solving the technology bottleneck to make a certain thing happen. Interesting idea about the Tesla phone. It also can be used for that digital payments, which brings up Mars Coin. Also, fingerprint login on the phone is easy. Exactly. Appreciate that. But again, I'm not sold on the idea. I'm just sort of spitballing here a little bit. Does Twitter have remote positions? Yes, it does. I can confirm that. I have a friend who just accepted an offer there. Hardware wallets are used to sign transactions, for example. Sure. Blockchain only will be as reliable as the cryptography it relies on. Yep. Certified independent registrators for elections, I'm guessing, right? What was the most impressive part of the car that Tesla makes that other OEMs outsource? Super bottle. For sure. Twitter will be likely the first planetary redundant social network. Yeah, it could be. Right? So when you say planetary redundant, you mean like we can use Twitter on any planet, right? That'd be cool. Can you imagine? Can you imagine posting a meme on Mars and then somebody on Earth liking it? Ha! Elon just tweeted. What did he say? Should we look it up? I love how we have a Twitter Elon tweet watch. Okay, here we go. Let me share this tweet. For Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral, which effectively means upsetting the far right and the far left equally. Like, retweet. Yeah. It's sort of very aligned with the comment he's made about, if free speech is done correctly, the most extreme 10% of either side is going to be very upset. Right? Europe does a lot of electronic voting. It's actually less prone to fraud and counting errors. You also get the results very fast with recounts being unnecessary. Well, thanks for letting us know that. Yeah, there has to be a way to do it. Elon Musk is buying Twitter because he wants to spy on the president and see what presidents do on their chats and their secrets. Yeah, I don't know about that. This sort of direct democracy is in some level already in place in countries like Switzerland through its cantons. It works pretty well. I would love to learn more about that. Maybe I need to do some research. Anybody from Switzerland, let us know if anyone's from Switzerland in the chat. In an era of abundance that Elon visualizes, Tesla bought labor abundance where governments cannot legitimately justify their need, DDP can genuinely work. I agree. I think if you get to that point, it's a done deal. Like, you'll have so many resources and technology at your disposal to make really anything happen. That direct democracy is going to be sort of like the easiest thing ever. In today's world that we live in today, it's hard to conceptualize because we don't have that. But if you put yourself in a situation where you don't have to worry about resources and you don't have to worry about really technology because you're going to have AI and sort of machines just making stuff for you, in theory, you could have an AI that develops some sort of system that allows you to have a very strong privacy, essentially uncrackable privacy, and some sort of technology that allows you to have that direct democracy. Yes, direct democracy is not bad in Switzerland here. Okay. Great radical centrism. I know. What has happened to this country, right? Gotta check out the Swiss. They have a direct democracy. Good decisions on some laws are sometimes hard because of populist advertisement. Yeah, I mean, as long as there is open discourse, right? That's really the most important thing. Elon gonna buy YouTube after LOL if he could. Yeah, if he gets the bot stuff solved on Twitter, man, YouTube better fix that stuff immediately. Direct democracy is great, but it's dangerous as 51%, maybe 75% will take some of the danger away for the minority. Not sure I understand that, Johan. Direct democracy is great, but it's dangerous at 51%. Oh, okay. Maybe 75% would take some of the danger away for the minority. I mean, you know, the majority is the majority. You know? And maybe they set up some sort of rules around certain laws or something that require supermajority, maybe like 60%. But you know, new stuff is scary, and there are weaknesses and strengths for each system. But you also have to recognize that the current system has a lot of fixing to do, and it's not good at all. You know, the extreme 20%, I'm talking about the United States, the extreme, really 10% of the country is the one that's essentially winning elections. Like all these, like California, New York, you know, Alabama, you know, all these other states where it's always blue, always red. They don't really matter because they're just going to go blue on red. So whatever they decide doesn't really matter. It's only like 4 or 5 states that make the decision in reality. So Bobby Rob, dude, €20 super chat. Thank you so much, man. That's incredible. Not that you need that money. I'll buy my wife a nice dinner. How about that? Thank you, man. But have to shout out this incredible, nice studio light cam sound. You upped your channel so fast. Have to applaud you for it. Thank you so much, Robbie. That's very sweet of you. I've definitely put a lot of work into this with the help of my wife, and I want to make this into something that I'd really love, this sort of thing where I get to interact with y'all and share my ideas and get to talk about them with you. And so I view this as being very important, and the production has to get better, right? So I really appreciate that. There's also been many out there as well that have helped me with recommendations through DMs or emails and stuff. Jan is somebody, Tesla Fix is somebody that's on this chat right now that gave me some advice for my weekly review, which I think is great. So thank you for that, Jan, again. But yeah, this is really, I'm just trying to do best to bring valuable discussion and give you guys as much knowledge as I can from my perspective, because I do think it could help some folks. And I want to make it so that it's easy to digest. And so that's why I spent so much time and really, you know, resources to make this happen. But thank you, man. Super sweet. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I would vote for an American-born proxy president for Elon Musk. Yeah. You know, what's interesting there, dude, like why don't they have a law? Because right now in the U.S., you have to be a naturalized born citizen of the United States. You basically have to be born in the United States or a land that is owned or, you know, run by the United States. Owned is probably the wrong word. But so you have to be American, or you have to be born of American parents, I believe. I forget what the exact, but you have to be American. You have to be born. So like somebody like Elon Musk who wasn't born in America or born to American parents, technically he's not American. But why can't they put a law that says if you're a citizen for at least 35 years, you can also run for president? Like, why does it have to be somebody that's physically born here? If you live in the country for 35 years, doesn't that like, and you're a citizen for 35 years and you can prove that you've lived in that country for 35 years, why can't you run for president? Is that crazy? Let me know. You know? Thank you, thank you. Remember, guys, to like the stream, 200 viewers and 95 likes. This could be improved. Thank you, Tesla Fix. Yeah, if you haven't already, I would love a like. It helps other people see the channel. Thank you all very much. Extreme wealth inequality just make our politicians owned by a select few. Right. That's one of the sort of downfalls of the systems, some of the systems we have in the world. And, you know, it could be much improved for sure. I have a bit of background of cybersecurity, and it's mind-boggling to think about the consequences if it goes wrong. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. You know, the higher the responsibility and the more important the job, the more severe the mistakes are, right? But that also probably means that we really need to solve it. If it going wrong could be disastrous, then I would argue that is the reason why we should ensure that it's done correctly. Because that means that there's a ton of value in doing that thing. If you do something and it goes wrong and everybody like gets impacted by it, that means that the thing that you were doing is incredibly valuable. So how can we ensure that it never happens, right? So it's almost like reasoning reverse. Like if something could go really, really badly, we should totally do it. But we have to figure out how to do it right. There was another thing I wanted to bring up with this Twitter thing. Let me see. Oh, that's right. I think with the latest Twitter stuff that has happened, if you thought Elon was popular before, whoa. I have a theory that in the next sort of like year or so, you know, Elon has essentially become mainstream now. You know, even though the Tesla community is very large and the SpaceX community is very large and sort of the Elon bubble, us as people, is large, I think it pales in comparison with what it's going to be in a year's time. And I was talking to my wife about this earlier. Like my wife, we were getting into some discussions about sort of what is going on with Elon, and ever since he announced the Twitter thing, she was telling me about this story where she was talking to somebody, and they were upset about Elon buying Twitter. And the reason was just that Elon was buying Twitter, which was a funny story. But what I really think is going to happen is that Elon has entered this sort of different stratosphere of popularity, where he's gone from like, say like 2010 to like 2017, he was, yeah, I know Elon, he's smart and he has a cool car. 2017 to 2022, call it, was, oh yeah, Elon's like really smart. He's working on a lot of cool things, and I kind of want a Tesla. Now it's like, oh wow, Elon is really trying to do the best for humanity. How can I, like, I'm really curious to see how he does. Like, what are the things he's working on? Oh, this free speech thing? Yeah, we should do better with free speech. Oh, Elizabeth Warren doesn't like him? Oh man, that's very interesting. Oh, Fox News is always talking about him in a positive light. Whoa, that's interesting. Every single newspaper in the world wrote a story about him buying Twitter. Wow, so he's entering this different level of popularity that hasn't happened before, you know? And I think what I'm really curious to see there is how that's going to grow the community, and how many of those folks that are going to flood into the community now are going to see the things that we've seen, and how passionate they're going to be about those things. Because, you know, if there's one thing I can say about this community, is that there is a ton of passion about the things that Elon is achieving in his companies, right? The passion is palpable. I saw this at TeslaCon. I saw this at Cyber Rodeo. I saw this when we did the bar crawl the day before that, and people were coming up to me like, everybody's like so freaking passionate about the mission. I think we're going to 10x that community in the next year, you know? It's going to be fascinating to watch. And I think that's going to create very unique discussions in the community. And I believe it's going to reach a certain level to where the majority of population, of the human population, is going to be supportive of the mission that Elon is going after, whatever that may be. And we might get a lot more people inspired to join those causes, or to be somebody that's a voice for those causes, or to really engage in those discussions with their friends, because now they're starting to see what I think we've seen for a while. And it's going to be very interesting to watch. Let me know what you think about that. Am I thinking about this too crazy? But I'd love to hear about that. Too much power in one person's hands. Yeah, I mean, that's That's not an inaccurate statement, to be honest. We're fortunate that he's so non-corrupt. Corrupt, I guess, is probably the best way to describe it. But that's, yeah. That is something to think about once, man, like maybe once he decides to step away from some of his things and like the structures he's built. That's going to be interesting to watch. Welcome, Cindy Moon. Welcome, welcome. My mod is here. People are just not interested. We want to be a part of it. I did not care about investing. I believed in Elon's mission. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right, Fidel. 100%. Incorruptible, thank you. Can't even talk English. Twitter will be an amazing place to work. Yeah, it's definitely going to be challenging. It's going to be freaking hard because you're going to have to unwind a lot of the incorrect stuff they've been doing. So that's going to take a lot of effort. Digital. A lot of my friends recently started talking a lot more about Elon in a positive light. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I saw this firsthand with one of my friends who's a big gearhead, like somebody who loves gas cars. And now he's like, we were talking about Tesla and Elon based on them bringing it up, not me. Like, I've completely avoided bringing up Elon or Tesla or anything because I know once I start talking about it, I can't shut up. So now I just let other people talk about them. And literally every conversation I have with a stranger, he just comes up or his companies come up. Never happened before. That's strange. And then when they find out I used to work for Tesla and I have this YouTube channel, they're like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" It's pretty funny. Comes down to one thing: Bill Gates is jealous. I think that's one of the things for sure. Button seat Hertz. What happened with Hertz? Something happened with Hertz? Best resource optimizer equal Elon. Apart from intellectual prowess, he is a prime example of how resources put in the direction and scale for betterment of humanity will succeed regardless of advertisers. Yeah, I think ultimately what Elon's greatest strength is not that he's a great engineer or a great tech person, is that he is a great problem solver. He's just really good at solving problems. And ultimately that's how you can make the biggest impact, is if you know how to solve problems. But why Elon needs Twitter? It just news application. Why does he need it? I think they may be hiding something from us. Yeah, Hans, we talked about this earlier in the stream. I think there's very many different things that Twitter could serve. It could be a direct democracy platform. It could be a video platform at some point. It could be a way to transfer money from person to person. It could be really the universal way that people communicate between planets, right? A place where free speech can happen. A lot of different things can happen with Elon, with Twitter. Elon has millions of dollars and he lives at his friend's house. No, he has billions. Yeah, that's true. I'm sure it was just a typo. What power does he have if they open source the algorithm and they don't block people, real people, from voices their opinion? Well, the algorithm is not just a blocking system. It's also a way of how Twitter sort of shows information to people and how it crafts certain things for people and the decision it makes to either hide something or ban something or whatever. So it's more than that, right? Yeah. Fully agree, Farzad. Musk has doubled his Twitter follower count, and some people are finally changing their minds the more they learn about him. Doubled in a year. Yeah, I agree 100%. There's a very, there's been a shift, a pretty dramatic shift that's going to accelerate. Yeah. What's your opinion about Elon's views on declining global birth rate being the world's biggest problem? I think it makes the most sense. It's the most fundamental, right? The biggest thing to keep in mind with global birth rates is that if you look at economies, especially like if you think about capitalistic economies, which are really most of them on planet Earth, a lot of them are built upon debt, right? And that debt is a way of bringing the future forward, right? So if you go to a bank as a business and you're like, hey, I don't have $1 million, but I want to take out $1 million loan because I want to build a bakery shop, which is going to perform in a way so that in 5 years from now, I'm going to be able to pay back your loan with interest. That is a way of bringing the future forward, right? If the future if the future is trending towards a direction where the people that are going to be able to buy your stuff, you're not going to have as many people buying your stuff in the future as they are today, then why on earth would you ever loan somebody money when the overall population is going down? Okay, so that's like one reason why, but I'm trying to think of it from an economic standpoint, which I believe is really the reason why we have everything is because of that system. And so if you don't have that in place, borrowing is going to be extremely difficult. If you do not have a good outlook for the future as a bank or as a person, there is no reason to do things that are going to be based on you succeeding in the future. So it's very fundamental. It's very fundamental. The birth rate thing is what makes him sound the most stupid to people who can't think deeply. Hey, Robert, nice to see you again. Yeah, potentially, but I do see that I think everybody that I've talked to agrees with him. But there's a lot of, it's really the true fundamental thing that's going on here, right? So if you're thinking first principles, you can't do anything unless there's no people. You have to have people. And so if you have less and less people year over year, that means that less and less people are going to procreate, and then over time you're going to have less and less people, right? So it's just that's how it works. Well, we live in a bubble. Yeah, a lot of us do, don't they? Maybe Karpathy took a break to rest up for the Twitter challenge upon return. Boy, that's not a bad take, Cindy. Huh. I got to think about that. I mean, he does work for Tesla, but now that he owns it privately, there's no reason why they can't share talent between companies. That's a really interesting take. I got to think about that. Really good one. Well done. What is your counter argument for people that believe all billionaires are bad and Elon is not different than any other billionaire? Here, a lot of us versus them, not rich versus rich. Yeah, I mean, I think my primary argument is that the amount of money people have is not really like, why would that be a bad thing? I think when people think about billionaires being bad is that they're somehow painting a picture that the only reason why you're a billionaire is because you've taken from other people, right? You're somehow taking other people's money and you're keeping it to yourself, and you're a bad person because you're greedy, because all you want to do is accumulate, right? And so the bigger picture is, okay, so it's not really billionaire that is a bad thing, is the individual that's acting in that way is the bad thing. It's not the fact that he has money, it's the fact that he acts in a bad way. You take Elon as an example, you ask the question of, okay, so is Elon a greedy person? Is Elon doing things that are purely to benefit his wealth? You very quickly find out if you lay out the argument of the things he's built and the jobs he's created and the products he's created and the things he's fixing and the amount of people he's inspiring, it becomes very clear that unless he had that money, we wouldn't have that cool stuff, that stuff for us to really enjoy or to build on as a civilization, right? So it's all about the action of the individual. So, yeah. Admiral. Hey, Farzad, random question. Since English wasn't your first language, do you dream in Farsi or Spanish, perhaps instead of English? That's a great question. So for those who don't know, I started learning English when I was 12. And I was born in Spain, so I grew up with Spanish. And my parents are both from Iran, so I also learned Farsi. I dream in English, actually. Yeah, I dream in English. Good question. Elon very concerned about low birth rates, but doesn't seem to support policies that would promote higher birth rates, aka universal child care, health care. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair point, Jonathan. I think maybe the thing is like, I think it's like the execution of those things, right? I know he's in favor for universal basic income. Why wouldn't he be for universal child care? You know? So I'm curious to see where you saw that, Jonathan. If you have any sort of pointers, let me know. But yeah, I don't know why Elon wouldn't be supportive of that if he thinks that like really population is one of the most important things to ensure that we keep going, you know? And there's different ways to execute it too, so it might be an execution problem. Like a lot of the times we think about government executing on these policies, but my opinion only, I think government is inefficient when it comes to executing on large projects. My opinion. Thank you very much for the €2 super chat, Catalin. Is the Tesla smartphone a real thing? I have no idea. I'm only speculating here. I do think it makes sense for them to build one at some point, but yeah. Lo siento, no hablo inglés. ¿Puedes hablar en español, por favor? Uso el traductor de títulos. Entiendo lo que dices. Sí, puedo hablar español, pero mi, how do you say, fans? Mis fans hablan inglés, entonces lo tengo que hacer en inglés. I hope that was good. I do have an accent. Unrelated to Twitter, but very much related to AI. Have you seen DALL-E 2 in action? OpenAI's new project that creates unbelievably good art just by taking simple text statement. I was blown away. I have not seen it. I would love to check it out. Do you think Elon getting into these murkier waters of political discourse will affect his ability to focus on issues that Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, boring face? No, not at all. Not at all. I think Elon is a master at multitasking, and the reason, here's my take, the reason why Elon bought Twitter is because he has the bandwidth to do so. He wouldn't have bought Twitter unless he had the bandwidth to do so. And it's part of his master plan, like we talked about before. Like, I bet you he had this, Elon probably has an Excel spreadsheet or a PowerPoint or something that goes up to 2050, and for every single year he has like 6 things that he has to get done for the momentum to keep going. And probably 5 years ago for 2022, he had build social media platform or purchase social media platform. And this is just the master plan for us to colonize Mars and to move to a fully sustainable future that has a democracy that doesn't make the civilization implode. So I think this is 100% within his master plan of master plans, right? So like master plan 3 is part of his master plan. And the master plan is the thing we don't see. It's that it's in his brain or in a PowerPoint somewhere. Like I said, year by year, up through say 2040 or 2050, he's got stuff, and things have to happen before the thing happens after that, right? So it has to be part of it. It has to be part of it. So I absolutely don't think at all that it's going to be a distraction for him. I really don't think so. Why does the creator of Facebook hate Elon Musk? I don't know if he hates him. I think that's what the media says. The media says they hate him, but yeah. I don't know. Judge ruled that Elon Musk did not breach his fiduciary duty to Tesla for pushing the company in 2016 to buy solar. Oh, great. That's awesome. Is the stock up? I know that was like hanging on him, but I doubt that did anything for the stock. My God. Oh, it's up 1.3%. Okay. That's good. All right, let's do what? 10 more minutes, and then we'll do a couple songs on guitar like we usually do, and then we'll end the stream. How's that sound, y'all? Will his Ad Astra school spread like a virus? Who knows? If it's affordable and people have access to it, it might, right? Elon Musk wins shareholder lawsuit over the company's $2.6 billion SolarCity acquisition. Good. That was baseless. I mean, that was just, yeah. Elon gets a lot of hate. Yeah. Matt, if you think it's bad now, just wait. Just wait. Twitter's going to be very important for him to deflect and tell the truth of what's actually going on once the hate reaches peak hate, which is probably going to be 10x of where we were during FUD peak in 2017, 2018. The worst is yet to come for FUD. Does that mean the stock is going to be down? No. Does that mean his name's going to be dragged through the mud? Yeah. The more desperate these power structures get, the closer they are to dissolving and collapsing within themselves, the louder they're going to get. And the more vicious they're going to get. So I bet you a lot of money right now that there's a lot of companies out there that want to stop him. They're probably digging up as much dirt as they possibly can on him, and they're probably stacking it up in some way so that it sounds as bad as possible. And then in a few years' time, they're going to start freaking hammering him like crazy. I would not be surprised if that's happening. Twitter will provide data points in order to advance AI. It will be a representative sample of humanity, which could democratically steer policymakers in addressing what matters in society. That's a great point. That's a really good point. Stock is up mainly because of Meta solid earnings. Okay, appreciate that, Julian. The Twitter algorithm feeds your own bias and not tweets that challenge your opinions. I have to work hard to try and get a diverse view on topics. Yeah, what I do is I follow people that I respect, regardless of their opinions, and then I put my feed on latest. And then that usually does that for me. I don't use the explore function. I just literally follow people that I respect from every single viewpoint. I set it in latest, and then I just read and see what comes up. I bought a nice chunk of Tesla yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I wish I had cash to do that. All my stuff's tied up. Will Elon bring back Jack Dorsey? And if so, do you see further collaboration between Twitter and Block in the future? I know they respect each other quite a bit. I can see... I don't know if it's going to be like, I don't know, who knows? They very well could be working together at some point. Maybe not like, say, constantly, but they'll probably work together in some form. That makes sense. They're probably working together right now. It's just to kind of figure out what is the sort of high-level strategy we need to put together to make sure the company goes towards the right direction. Thanks for answering a lot of questions. As a Tesla vet, you're doing a lot towards the mission. Kudos. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. I really enjoy this stuff, and if it's helpful to further certain discussions, I'm very happy that's the case. I think education might be a big side project for Elon. Critical thinking, discovery, super important. That's how you create. You know what's the one thing I always say is that Elon's, like Tesla's and SpaceX best employees haven't joined the company yet. That's going to be the next generation coming up. It's going to be very interesting to see how that develops. And so for that to happen the best way possible, you need a very educated and a very capable population. And education is extremely important for that. And problem solving. New York Times working on an exposed documentary against Elon. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. He has a lot of power, man. He does. The creator of Facebook hates Elon Musk because Elon Musk launched a SpaceX and it exploded on one of the Facebook ships, and now he can't make the thing that the Facebook creator planned, and that's why. Yeah, I do remember he had a Facebook satellite, I think. I mean, yeah, that I don't know if that's why he would hate him. I don't even know he hates him. I just think there's certain narratives that get pushed in sites. It's just, you know, it's our Kanye and Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? Like Zuckerberg hates Elon is our version of Kanye hates Pete Davidson or whoever Kim Kardashian is dating now. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it that way, but it kind of is. It's drama. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's entertaining. It's drama, you know? I think Elon will buy Apple next if he has billions of dollars. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a $3 trillion purchase. Good luck. I don't see that happening. Ever. I would love to see Elon as a James Bond villain and with a Starlink as a super weapon. Would need chimp on his lap. Yeah, right? Maybe Joe Rogan can get him a chimp. Since we've heard so many times that the engineers is a critical source of Tesla, shouldn't the company invest some number of billions a year in educating, training engineers? I believe they already partner with a bunch of different schools in different localities to make that happen. You know? Yeah, I think they've already done. They'll probably jack it up more if they need more engineers in some way, but I think they already do. Everyone should check out the Cold Fusion channel for the AI thing. Trust me, I couldn't believe it at first and how it's even possible. Photorealistic artists just for starters. Okay. I'll definitely add that to my list, man. Thank you very much. Cold Fusion. And if you haven't yet, like the stream. I would love it. Pushes this out to more people. Thank you. What color is Zuck's blood? Green. He's a lizard, don't you know? What's Tesla's position on privacy? Need an insider's view. Yeah, no, they anything that is safety related, which I would argue privacy is part of safety. They are extremely, extremely passionate about it. So, yeah, it's big. From what I saw anyway. There's a lot of FUD regarding Elon, but there's also truth. He has a poor track record on free speech and has made baseless claims against unionizing. Yeah, I don't know, Jonathan. I don't think that's accurate. I would have to disagree with you. I'd have to disagree with you. I didn't see that, but I think if anything, he has a very strong track record, and him saying his opinion doesn't automatically silence the other side, right? I think the union stuff that happened at Fremont was completely overblown from what I heard and saw internally. So, my opinion. The question is, why should he? I'm not sure what that's related to. Okay. All right, a couple more minutes and then we'll do a couple songs, yeah? On guitar? What happens if Elon buys Apple next if he has billions of dollars? Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. Thoughts on Senator Warren? I don't want to spend any time thinking about her. That should answer your question. More FUD means cheaper price for Tesla so I can buy more. Yeah, but you also have to remember that there's going to be a lot of people that have made investments recently whose investments will go down in the short term. Not a lot of people are in the not a lot of people are in the stock for long term, and those people are not going to be very happy about the price going down. But I would argue that if if you're in Tesla, you should really have a much longer time horizon. But that's my opinion. I've been in it since 2012, and boy, I've seen some crazy stuff. Montreal, welcome. All right, one more minute, and we'll start the guitar portion of the show. We'll do 2 songs today. We'll do 2. Maybe I should start warming up my wrist, eh? You should eat more apples. Yeah, apples are good for you. That's the one thing. Sometimes I feel like Elon needs to take better care of himself from a health perspective. Only because we want him around for a long time. So hopefully he does. Okay, video's up, Farza. Thank you very much, Jan. Thank you, brother. You wanna here? I'll drop a link to it so people have it. Ba ba bow. Da da ba ba bow. Do 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 do. Okay. Share. Copy. Here we go. So there is a interview that I did with Jan recently. He has a new channel. Make sure you check it out. Thank you, Jan. Okay. Couple more questions. He gained quite some weight in recent years. Worries me a bit. Yeah, I do think it looks like he lost a little bit as of late. But yeah, you always want people to be healthy, right? So, he just has to make it a priority if he can. Elon tried to get someone fired from his job if he didn't stop posting negative news articles. Is that true or false? Is that factual? Because I know that there was that one AI person who was working for the company, and he was posting full self-driving videos while he was working at the company as an employee. You just have to be careful how you navigate the NDA. The one thing you have to remember is that when you work for Tesla, you have an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. And there are certain things you can't do, that's part of sort of being part of the company. You make an agreement. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see if that's true or not. Anderson, dude. Okay. Great content, my brother. I always looked up to you. Miss you, dude. Anderson and I miss you too, brother. I can't wait to see you again. I got to go visit. Anderson and I worked at the Bethlehem warehouse in Tesla. When I joined the company in July of 2017, Anderson was there from day one. Somebody called Sammy, and Greg, I believe, and Christian. I don't know if there's somebody else there, Anderson. We got together and when I joined the company, and all of us brought up that warehouse. And these guys did a lot of work before I even got there to get everything set up. And Anderson's one of the hardest working people I've ever met. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. And I think he's still there, I think as a supervisor, right, Anderson? Correct me if I'm wrong. But dude, so nice to see you, brother. I really appreciate you. I miss you, man. So many memories just came back, bro. I gotta go back to Bethlehem. I'll let you know when I'm back. We're gonna have to hang out. I'll come visit you guys at the warehouse. But yeah, killer crew. Anderson is one of those people, y'all. If you probably never heard of his, he works at Tesla. He's been there for over 5 years now, Anderson, right? And he is one of those people that you'll never hear his name, but he was incredibly instrumental to make sure that the Tesla service network gets to where it needs to get at. And he's one of those that you'll never hear his name, but he was an incredibly big part of that mission. So I miss you, man. Oh, I'm getting emotional. I should probably stop. But yeah, man, let's hang out soon. Oh man, that just brought up so many good memories. All right, we'll do a couple more. Do you think they will do a redesign of the Model 3 next year or in a few years? Yeah, I do think he wants to do. I do know that he wants to do like a front and rear casting for Model 3. So that will definitely happen at some point. And the last one, why does Tesla have an NDA for all their employees? Wouldn't it help accelerate the transition to sustainable energy if they didn't have it? Well, I mean, you have to think about, that's a good point, right? I do know that there was a rumor going around that Elon said that he wanted to get rid of all NDAs. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but you could make an argument that restricting the flow of information between companies is slowing down progress in a way. But Christopher, that's a great point. You know, maybe it will happen. Maybe Tesla will be the first company that never has NDAs. And then I can tell you all about the things that I saw. Wouldn't you like to know? Haha. All right, guitar time. We're almost an hour and a half in. We'll do 2 songs. For those that haven't joined the stream before, I have guitars on the wall here, and I like to sit down and play you guys a couple songs because as a thank you for staying with me this long. You don't have to stay. You can go about your day. You don't have to stay for the guitar portion, but if you'd like to, you can. And we're gonna play some songs for you. Yeah. There's a point of possible damage to the company, right? I mean, that's one of the key reasons why. But, you know, I think if Elon trusts all his workers and he does the right thing, why would you ever want to give anybody a reason to do something bad, right? That could be the opposite side of it. So it's going to be interesting. Will a robotaxi ever be sold to an individual? Maybe. I think it will. I'm not so sold that it's going to be like a subscription only service, but we'll see. I could be wrong. Okay, guitar time. Okay. Metallica is playing in Chile tonight. Oh man, I wish I could be there. All right. The pick of destiny. Come on. Focus. Hello. All right, it's not working. Isn't that a movie by Tenacious D? Yeah, it's a Jackson. The guitar's a Jackson. All right, I just gotta put this on a setting so that it's not out of sync. Okay, let's rock. Let me know if you can hear the guitar. Okay. Can you guys hear the guitar? Hit that bid. Yashu's in the house. Juju Gang. Who's Juju Gang? Get the Juju can. More volume? All right. How's that? Oh, I know why. I know why. Guys, I don't have it plugged in. Jesus Christ. a noob! There we go. That I know you can hear that. Okay. There we go. Who's playing the cowbell? Do we have some cowbell players? How's that sound? Good? Okay. So, what I need you guys to tell me is to make sure that the audio and the volume sound good. Yeah, that it's synced up. So I'm going to do a quick test. The Sandy how does the Sandy Monroe thing go again? Hold on. Sandy Monroe. I don't remember how it goes. I was thinking about sitting down and figuring out the little jingle that they do on Sandy Monroe's thing and covering it on my channel. I think he would freak. What do you think? Yashu, better bring that triangle. Who's got cowbell? Somebody better play their cowbell and their triangle while I'm playing music, bro. I can see you. I can't. All right. We're going to test the volume. So I usually do a song, Ride the Lightning. Just let's make sure, let me know that it's the volume is good between the guitar and the music and that it's synced up. That's the key thing I'm looking for. Okay. And we're going to go desktop audio, properties. It's going to come from this guy. Nope. This guy. All right, let's make sure that it's lined up. I think the sync is good. And the volume's got to be pretty good too, okay? So let me I saw the volume there, so I think they were synced up. So okay, music time. Yeah, I'm gonna move the mic here in a second. Okay. This is an instrumental. I do play Metallica because it has the best chance of me not getting booted off the platform. But this is called Orion by Metallica. It's an instrumental out of the Master of Puppets album and one of my favorite songs ever. Here we go. Orion by Metallica. Thank you. One of my favorite songs ever. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy that. And we'll do one more. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. SpaceX will take us to Orion one day. How cool would that be? And then right before they land, they play this song. Oh, could you imagine? Thank you all. Yeah, it was awesome. Orion by Metallica from the Master of Puppets thing. The one, like, the bendy part with, like, I don't know if you guys heard it, like, this part. That part is, like, it's interesting because that one bendy part, they do, like, you have to be, like, it's very hard to get it perfectly in tune because of how they do it. But anyway, it was fun. Okay, last song for the stream. You're going to see me struggle in this one because it's fast. And I haven't played it in a while. And it's probably going to be fun for you to watch me screw this up really badly. But this is from their latest album. From Hardwired to Self-Destruct. And it's called Spit Out the Bone. And it's about the perils of AI. And how machines will take over humanity. Pretty on topic, ain't it? Very interesting song. Really cool lyrics. Definitely check it out. Spit Out the Bone by Metallica. By Metallica. And it's fast. And I will mess up some parts, and I do apologize in advance. But anyway, it's fun. So, all right, here we go. Last song. It is gonna hurt. Watch for my right wrist in this song. You'll see it like freaking. It's gonna be fast. All right, here we go. Spit Out the Bone, Metallica. Spit out the bone, everybody. Metallica, thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live stream. Awesome discussion. Really agree. Really agree. What did I say? Really agree. Really enjoy you spending the time with me. These are weekly live streams. We'll be back next week again. We'll end every live stream with some guitar. And yeah, thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. Have an amazing week. If I don't talk to you again, we'll have a regularly scheduled video coming out tomorrow. And if you haven't had a chance yet, I do have a clips channel, Farzad Clips, if you're interested in that, where I have excerpts from my podcast discussions. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Have a great night. Mwah. Thank you for spending time with me. Take it easy. Bye-bye.